Does hip hop miss Kendrick Lamar? And this topic kind of came when I was listening to DJ Academics live, man, and he was going in. He was going in on Kendrick Lamar. And, I mean, as a Drake fan, and regardless of who the source is, when people are spitting facts, I mean, you can't help but be like, you know what, that's not wrong. And one of the things that he said that really stuck to me, because he was talking about the break that Kendrick Lamar has taken, and we've discussed that on this show many a times. And so Kendrick's been missing for 4 years, and you come back on this Baby Kim verse, and you're talking about smoking on your top five. Who's he talking about? That sounds like another Drake knock again, but as academics said, Drake's been here putting out music, and Drake actually has been battle tested. Drake has actually, demolished Meek Mill. I don't think his career has been the same since. And then he went back and jumped on Meek Mill's record and gave Meek Mill his first number one record. Um,
Pusha T.
he went back and forth with Pusha T. He may have lost that, but he actually jumped in the ring. We'll give him that.
Hold on, say that again. And here's the thing about Drake that I've always respected. It's like, oh no, he ain't never ran.
Yeah, he never ran. He didn't run from Common. And at that point in his career, he could have easily just ran from Common. Birdman stopped that.
Mike, he had no business getting into it like on a lyrical level with any of the three guys that we just mentioned.
And with that all being said, Academic brought up the whole fact that, Kendrick puts people's names in songs, but when it's time to actually, I guess, step outside of the subliminal lane, there's nothing. So it made me think, like, okay, with Kendrick missing in action and him saying the things that he's saying about smoking on your top five, him being, because clearly he thinks he's the greatest and dominant in this era. Missing in 4 years, I don't think the game has missed him personally. I think hip hop's just fine right now, and the only person that is losing in this absence is Kendrick.
So it's not that the game doesn't necessarily miss Kendrick. It's that it's not really missing his era of music, because this era of music that's coming along in the last 4 or 5 years since he hasn't been recording has been better than his era. There's more competition. There's more diversity at the top, and there's just more top tier lyricists and MCs. And so he stands out still from his era, like a monolith of sorts, but he's not missed or revered the way prior greats have been, because the competition in the music haven't been there. It's like, Mike.
But he has kind of, to piggyback on that, he's dropped in very weak years.
No, and so we're going to get to that. But Mike, and here's something that I will give Jay. When Jay coming in the game in 96, he got Pac, Big, and Nas to contend with to make a name for himself. So when he made a name for himself that year, I always took note of it.
Yeah. Not just Pac, Nas and Big, like,
Redman,
talk about life.
Outkast,
Yeah, we're talking about life after death.
The Roots. There's talent everywhere in 96.
You're talking about A.T. Aliens. You're talking about Life After Death. I'm sorry, not Life After Death. You're talking about All Eyes on Me. You're talking about Machiavelli. You're talking about Iron Man. You're talking about Muddy Waters. You're talking about It Was Written.
Half-Life, Riding Dirty.
Yeah. I mean,
this is a year. This is being the year before is the infamous, the Purple Tape.
What dropped
Diary,
into? Because Damn dropped in.
Crazy.
Damn dropped in 2017. What dropped in 2017?
I told you, Mike, nothing. I told you, Mike, the only year that he's dropped a project where another major artist made another dope-ass project was when he dropped Good Kid, Mad City, and Nas made Life is Good.
But nobody of his era was dropping seminal efforts. Like, he really ducked 2018. Because if Damn would have dropped in 2018, I think it would have been slightly different.
Mike, if his closest comp for a year he dropped the album is Life is Good.
Do you think, let me ask you something. I don't think I've asked you this before.
It's just good, Mike. I keep telling y'all Life is Good is not great. It's just really, really good.
Yeah, it's good. It kind of opened up the door to what we're seeing right now from Nas.
It was the start. It's the start of what we just saw come to fruition. Yeah.
Do you think that Damn is better than Daytona?
No.
Okay. I mean, do you think Damn is better than Victory Lap.
Yes,
Okay.
not by much.
But again, some people may think different, and I don't think that Kendrick has
And if
dropped
you
in
enjoy Victor, and
competitive
if you enjoy
years.
Victor, hold on, and if you enjoy Victory Lap more, I'm not gonna knock you. It's just that Victory Lap doesn't have like a performance like element or feel lyrically on the mic, and so I'm gonna give Kendrick the nod on that as the MC.
So people in the chat are bringing up stuff that dropped in 17. Said Chance the Rapper dropped in 17. I'm
Stop
sorry.
that.
Chance the
Stop
Rapper is a no-go. I'm sorry.
it. Stop it.
Rodriguez said More Life came out in 2017. More Life was a flop. Drake doesn't even acknowledge it as an album. It's a
What y'all are
playlist.
saying? Y'all talking about Drake and Chance the Rapper versus Kendrick? Like, stop that. Y'all stop that.
K Thompson says hip hop doesn't miss Kendrick because the game is watered down now. I think that the game is a little bit more rounded. I think that Griselda is a big reason why we don't miss Kendrick like that either. And I think that those guys have shown us how you can make a massive amount of quality music in a short period of time. Now people are wondering, like Academic was saying, how long does it take you to put together an album for real? And when we
See,
finally
okay?
hear this, it better sound like it was worth it.
And that's why Conway has proven himself to be a whole problem these last 2-3 years, specifically, Mike, because he's at the level that Kendrick is as an MC, and the output is ridiculous and high and quality.
And he got features everywhere too.
And expeditious with it. Oh, Mike, I mean, Mike, if not for Rick Ross, Conway was probably the best feature artist last year, too.
Oh yeah, speaking of which, man, Conway killed that verse on that Flea Lord album.
Mike, I finally heard that. Like,
Yeah.
the joint Rock produced, yeah, he smashed that verse, too. He out here smashing everything.
I mean, he's smashing everything from Flea Lord to Juicy J, man.
He the best MC in the game right now.
He is. And Kendrick's going to have to do a lot to make me feel different than that at this point in the game. Because do you think that an isolated MC can flourish in today's game? Because today's game is about putting out massive amounts of music and, kind of spreading yourself all over the place. Do you think an isolated MC can flourish in this game today like Rakim did in his era?
No, Mike, it doesn't necessarily work anymore. I'm gonna tell you what, some of the cats that I was plugged to the last time I was active, which was over 10 years ago now, they walked into the Yo. These are some cats that used to work with Bad Boy. Mike, They walked into the Yo 10 years ago, and I was in the Yo by myself, and they was like, yo, Coop, they was like, you be in here working? Like, by yourself? I'd be like, yeah, I put in work by myself all the time. And they was like, no, you can't do that. I was like, what? They was like, nah. They was like, you got to have everybody around and get the energy and the vibe. And they was like, nah, that isolation. They was like, the game don't work that way no more. That was them telling me that in 2009, 2010.
The people in the chat are disagreeing with us. Rodriguez says Kendrick's content's fire, intellectual. Don says them Griselda boys ain't on Kendrick's level. Stop that.
Yeah, no. Conway is. Yes, he is. Conway is on Kendrick's level. Don't get it twisted. Conway a whole problem. Matter of fact, I think Pusha T the only one that I even see coming right now where I'm like, who gonna give Conway some run right now before he starts separating himself?
You know what? To the people in the chat, were y'all really impressed by Kendrick's verse on Family Ties? Because I wasn't. And I know we've been talking about verse of the year candidates. Yeah, I know we've been talking about verse of the year candidates. I don't even think it's there, man. Like, in my opinion.
It's not a verse of the year candidate. No, it's not a verse of the year candidate.
Remy Shaw says Conway will smoke Kendrick on a track. I agree. You know what? This is the thing. We're never going to know because Kendrick doesn't work with anybody.
Whoever think that Conway not on Kendrick level, go listen to Jesus Crisis and then go tell me that. Like, no. Go listen to Jesus Crisis.
I was going to say just go listen to From a King to a God.
That guy, right now, how he has performed the last 2 years, he's on everybody's level except for like when Nas made Illmatic, Rakim made Follow the Leader, and Big made Life After Death. Like, that's where he at. Understand? Like, it's like that right now. Those are the only levels higher than how this dude's performing. He's having epic performances.
Kay Thompson says that Kim song's not a Kendrick song. Kim makes fun music. But okay, if we're not going to count that, then what are we counting?
You can count everything Conway doing. It don't matter. It's like you said, you can go Juicy J to Flea Lord. That's the thing that I'm saying. You're right. It
What
don't
is
matter.
what is Kendrick's last appearance on anything?
Wasn't he
Because
on Busta's album? He was on Busta's album
that
last
shit
year.
was old, man. That sound like Kendrick Lamar with a fade.
I mean, I'm just asking. I'm just asking. I'm just answering the question. You asked the question. It was last year. Me and Lee too.
That shit sound like Section 80 verse, man.
Wasn't that old?
That was in the
Little
vault, man.
Pimp a Butterfly, maybe. You know what? That might have been from like that little
That
green
wasn't
album he
even
came
from
out.
To Pimp a Butterfly. No, that shit was before Good Kid, Mad City, man. No, that Buster verse, that shit's old. Let's keep it a buck. When's the last Kendrick verse?
He's never been a big guest appearance artist like that anyway, Mike. He's been insulated and isolated, and he's gotten away with it. That's what I'm saying. Is like the game has changed on him, and here's the thing: if he's going to continue to do what he's done, he's going to have to do it at the level that he's done it already. Like there is no like he can't. I told you he can't drop something that's not at least on the level of Damn. It's not gonna fly.
I was just saying that earlier. It has to be Damn or better.
Yes.
It has to be Damn or better.
And how about this, Mike? Do you think Damn is better than From a King to a God?
Off the top of my head, I would say yes. But I need to go back and listen to them again. I mean, because Phil is incredible.
So is Jesus Crisis. So is Juvenile Hell. So is Lemon.
It is.
Yeah.
I think that, all right, this is what I'll say. Off the top, I think that the MC work from Conway might be more impressive. But I think that the songs on Damn might slightly be better.
So I think the songs are better on Damn, but I think Conway's better as an MC on From a King to a God from beginning to end than Kendrick is on Damn from beginning to end.
But see, here's the catch. When you do a break
From
like this,
beginning to end, there is not a verse on From a King to a God where Conway is not in go gadget flow mode. Remember go gadget flow, Mike? Like
yeah.
go gadget flow.
Don says, respectfully, I think y'all underrating Damn and Butterfly to Pimp a Butterfly is one of the best albums of this of the past 2 decades now, since we're in the new decade.
No, Mike, we're not underrating anything. Kendrick really hasn't dropped anything that hasn't been a classic or borderline classic.
Yeah, no, that's real. K. Thompson says,
we're not understating Damn, we're stating Conway and From a King to a God correctly. There's a difference.
I'm going to say something after I read this K. Thompson comment. He says, how come we criticize Kendrick for taking time to make conceptual albums, but Drake can put out microwave music and still get called the best right now? Well, I don't think Drake's the best right now.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm with you on the 3.5. I thought you was going to give the Drake album more than the 3.5. I think that the features carry Drake. I don't think that there's any growth in this Drake album. I think that this would have been a decent album for a 25-year-old Drake to make, but 35-year-old Drake, I think that, it's good radio songs, but I think that his overall status does not move up any. If anything, it might go back some. Now, as far as Kendrick taking time, he's never taken this long. And I think what happens when you take longer, now the standards are higher, and it makes it even more difficult because the sounds have changed so much. You're either going to run the risk of sounding dated, because I don't really feel like Kendrick has what Kanye has, is the ability, because he's a producer, to basically change the course of where people are going. You know what I mean? Kendrick's sound is the sound of his own.
I think he is his skills are as such that I think he can dictate that pace a little bit more than you're giving him credit for. Mm-hmm. The songs that were listed that he said he was getting copywritten, I found the song titles to be very, very fascinating.
Oh yeah, let's get into that. Yeah. Kendrick Lamar has some song titles that were registered with ASCAP BMI. Some of the song titles are Fighter Thief in the Night, mm-hmm. Fade to Black, Erica Kane, End of the Line, Empty, Driving Down the Darkness, before the hangman's noose.
So it sounds very biblical.
It sounds very dark. Yes,
It
pale
sounds
horse
very
apocalypse.
Revelations inspired, is what I'm saying. And
What?
there are a lot of people that believe that we are living in the last days and times. And in the book of Revelations, I found those song titles to be very revelatory, and not like in terms of revealing something, but like as in the book of Revelations. And
What?
there has always been a spiritual overtone and undertone to some of Kendrick's music. And so I
Definitely.
think that is about to be heightened on this project. And seeing those songs made me feel a little bit more confident in how he is structuring and sequencing this.
Okay.
And made me feel more confident, okay, he's still choosing to stay in his own lane. So he's not conforming, is what I saw when I saw those songs. I'm like, oh no, he's not conforming. He's still in his lane doing his shit. But he has to do it at the level that he's been doing it, Mike. That's what I'm saying. I think people think that we are like trying to shit on Kendrick, and I'm not. I'm saying the game has changed, and you used to be it.
And this was just a few months ago, and I don't want to say a few months ago, it was last year, because we've been doing this podcast for over a year now. We celebrated our anniversary not too long ago, but I remember having a conversation with you. It might have been November or December, and I was trying to tell you, like, yo, he's not the best in the game right now because he ain't been in the game. And you were
No.
fighting me tooth and nail on that. And the fact that you're on that side now where it's like, yeah, he's not. I mean, I think people out here need to understand that. We're both not dumping on him because I was in that space too. But after a while, after time goes on, we can't disregard the work people are putting in and elevate the person that's not working.
So Mike, I mean, Pusha's my favorite MC, and so I always preferred him to Kendrick anyway, just me personally, but I never had it confused. Kendrick's making superior projects.
Yeah, definitely.
But the moment that Pusha's made Daytona and then Conway from a king to a god, I just had to start looking at it. It's like, well, is he really better than Push?
Remy
Is he
Shaw
really better than
says,
Conway? And like I told you, it's like he's not. I'm not saying. How about this? From the moment that he drops Mike, he's going to be a top 5 MC most likely. It's just understand that it used to be he's number 1 and it wasn't even questioned. And all I'm saying, there's some legitimate questions now, and I want to see how he deals with some legitimate competition from some legitimate high caliber MCs. Like Pusha T has already rhymed next to Kendrick on a track and went line for line with him.
and the result is debatable.
In my opinion, had the better verse on that song.
Exactly. Remy Shaw says,
So people need to stop acting like he can't be touched. Pusha already out-rapped him on Nostalgia when they were both in their prime. Before Pusha was making Daytona.
Yeah.
Pusha done made Daytona.
And
Conway
Pusha
done made From a King to a God.
Okay.
It's a conversation, and we gonna have the conversation. You ain't just gonna have J. Cole and Forest Hills Drive to be able to skirt past no more. No, it's heavier now.
It is heavier. Remy Shaw said it's a fact that we had a crazy year in 2020 and Kendrick stayed virally silent the whole entire time. So the anticipation for this album is a lot higher than his previous releases. I think that's a legitimate statement. It's the fact that, when All Right was happening, the world was, it was a lot of police brutality or whatnot. But 2020 was an epic, very different year. And to not hear from one of your major voices like that, it's like, okay, we want to know what your thoughts were on that year, the following year. It's the pressure it's different.
Mike, how King's Disease 2 start off?
Yeah.
The pressure weigh a ton is getting too heavy.
This is this is a big album for Kendrick, and I'm not trying to hype it up, but this is going to show a lot of things, and clearly, let's keep it real. Keep it all the way real, fans. Let's keep it real. The music's not flowing like that. The music's not flowing like that right now.
His name's written down right here, right now, Mike. Mm-hmm. And you can't tell me for certain that Kendrick is better than these guys right now because we haven't heard it. Conway, Nas, Benny, Gibbs, Thought, Pusha T. What has he done in the last 4 years that makes you say he's better than those guys I just named? Because I can give you those guys.
It ain't even no features. And the thing about it is he's in his prime, and...
But no, Mike, what has he done to put himself ahead of those 6 guys in the last 4 years? Because saying he's still the best is discrediting what they've been doing the last 4 years.
Darnell Lee says Pusha T is coming out soon, and that is the truth. And I think that's one of those blind spots that even in this Kanye and Drake back and forth that people really aren't looking at. I know, not Conway. I know Consequence just put out a Drake diss record, but Pusha T has an album coming, and I think everyone needs to remember that. And for the people who are, I guess,
what has he done? No, no, no. All jokes aside, these guys, these 6 guys, Mike, go look at these 6 guys' work the last 4 years. These are the best MCs, Mike.
No, I agree. I
These
see
guys.
Lauren Hill in the chat. K. Thompson says, but why does time matter? We just said Lauren Hill arguably has the verse of the year, and she's been out the game for 20 plus years. We're not looking for a whole album from Lauren. And Lauren's, let's keep it real, she's not in her prime. Kendrick's in the prime of his career.
Hold on. Part of the impact of why Lauren's verse is rhyme of the year is because Lauren never even rhymes and never really did after the score. So there's an impact that's felt from just hearing her rhyme.
No.
Because she knew.
No,
it's the
100%.
same. It's very comparable effect to like hearing Rakim on the intro to ELE2 last year. It's like, that's the God.
Yeah, it is very comparable. I was thinking that too. I think that was one of the big pieces. Yeah, man.
And lyrically, Mike, I told you the last time seen rapping regularly, top 5 MC. That was 1996, Mike. She was a top 5 MC in 1996. Hello.
Where do you think that Kendrick is all time right now for you?
He's still in the top 10, Mike. He just got guys that are literally right outside the top 10 that have been creeping up on him and are continuing to creep up and are dropping projects this year. So he can lose his spot. Because Conway, Pusha ain't that far away. You seen what Kish just did, right? This shit is active, Mike. This shit live.
I'm sorry. I got currently.
We just clarified Nas is the GOAT. Like, it just took him 25 years to get to that.
Currently, I have Jadakiss above Kendrick.
I would have them right, like all these guys, like Conway, Pusha, Kiss, Kendrick, somewhere between 8 to 15. That's what I mean. It's active. It's live right now for him.
I think this is the most.
Hold on. Because when you stepped away 4 years ago, Conway and Pusha T weren't arguable top 10 all-time MCs or creeping up on that status. They are now. So you need to...
Listen.
You are who you say you are.
You know what? You know what I think the discrepancy is here, and I know a lot of Kendrick fans. It's hard to really grasp it because he's put out such incredible albums, and when you talk about album for album, he's very tough to touch. And you talk about bar for bar, he's incredible in that too. But I think that we have entered the most active era of hip hop we've ever been in. You got people like Method Man who are active all the way down to, you got from 18 to 50 something and everything in between, MCs putting out active work. We've never seen that before. We have never seen that at this pace. And for somebody who's supposed to be in the prime of their lives, in the prime of their career, we hear nothing from for 4 years. That you can't sustain in that way. Like if Jay-Z stopped making albums at the Blueprint, right, and sat there and waited 4 years, your spot's taken.
Mike, I want you to understand something. In the last 400 days, Nas has dropped 2 albums, and those albums have about 30 songs on it between the two, and about 25 songs of those 30 are high quality.
Yeah.
That's somebody that literally came along decades before this guy that's still performing.
Yeah.
Like, he need to come perform.
Yeah.
And so
we don't have any features to lean on either.
That we're hating. It's like, no, like a dude who came out in 94 just dropped a great album the year before and a classic album. Benny, Conway, Gibbs are all in their late 30s. They're all older than Kendrick.
Yeah.
And performing at the same level and putting out a higher volume.
Even when you talk about Method Man's appearance on Lemon, right? Or when you talk about Black Thought's appearance on Plugs I Met. Whatever.
Crown for Kings. Yeah, pick
whatever.
First,
you know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, you can't even give that?
That's what I'm saying, Mike. Like
something's going on.
in the last 4 years, Thoughts released two full-length two EPs, and been going getting busy on everybody else's shit still like he been doing, and been doing the freestyles and all. Like, that's Thought.
What Kendrick
Like,
say? Something in the water?
I'm just saying.
Listen, man. I hope
Like,
he puts out a really good effort this time around because I do think a Kendrick album's coming soon. I don't know, man. I'm going back to these song titles. I don't know, man.
but here's what I'm
I'm not
saying, and
feeling good things.
here's why I bring up the Nas thing. Nas has taken time off like this before. He did.
In his prime?
See, that's the thing about it is that, like, I think the time off was between Life is Good and Nasir.
That's him past his prime, man. I'm sorry.
But no, what I'm saying is him taking that time off kind of gave him a second prime.
Okay. So you think that's where Kendrick is?
I mean, it's the closest analogy that I can think of. Nobody else is great as taking the time off except for Nas. And it's like, hey, I don't care what you think about, like, To Pimp a Butterfly or Good Kid, Mad City. Nas be getting passes because of Illmatic because it's the best rap album ever. And so it's like, it kind of goes a little understated. It's like, you don't got it like Nas got it, even if you're taking this break.
I think that we live in a different time. And I think in the CD era, yeah, this would have been excused a little bit more. But let's think about this. Let's think about this. We're talking about 4 years, right? Somebody was a freshman in high school when Damn came out. They're freshmen in college now. You got somebody who was in 5th grade when Damn came out. They're a freshman in high school now. Like, how old was your daughter when Damn came out?
You know just named it, Mike. My daughter just started high school.
Yeah. So it's like, so much has happened since then. Like, so many artists.
So here's what I mean. How about this? My daughter knows who Kendrick is, but she really don't know who Kendrick is.
No. And it's really tough to, now you have to reintroduce yourself to a whole new hip hop audience.
She know Kendrick. You feel me?
What's that?
She know Trav better than she know Kendrick. Because Astro World came out while she was in middle school, and the kids, Sicko Mode and Stargazing. I can remember when we were talking about, I was like, yeah, we about to start talking about Astro World. I was like, what you think? She was like, yeah, everybody at school is talking about it. I was like, Stargazing. She looked at me. She was like, Stargazing.
Kendrick missed the opportunity not being on that album. And honestly, when we think about it, I don't think that his verse on Goosebumps is that great.
It's solid.
I don't think it's that great. It's not.
So Mike, so his rating to me, even though I find him to be a supreme level MC, it was really his ranking for me being so high was about how dope all these albums are because very few people can say they started off their career second Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly, Damn. Oh no, that's hellified. So most of where he is about the quality of albums that he's released.
Exactly.
On top of the fact that he's a superior MC.
Exactly.
But he can be touched.
Donnell Lee says, I got a 9th grader and they don't care for K-Dot. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I got a 9th grader too, fam, and she don't really know who Kendrick is. She wasn't listening. She was 5 years old when Good Kid, Mad City came out.
Yeah, man. I mean, time flies, and consistency in your prime is very important.
Mike, hold on. Listen to this. My daughter knows more about Nas than she does about Kendrick because for the last 3-4 years, he's been more active. That's why she was able to give the breakdown that she was given because he's had material out. She knows who he is.
K. Thompson says Goosebumps is another fun lit song like Kim's was. He shouldn't be taking that seriously. Okay, well, it kind of shows that he might be a little bit one-dimensional then. The
last time I heard Kendrick really was on the Black Panther soundtrack. Not Black Panther. Yeah, like with 10 and all that.
The song with Future and shit.
Yeah,
that wasn't that impressive either. I didn't think.
But that was the last time I heard